Hey guys, now you can follow me on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/Ultra Maximus Reviews. Cybertron Weekly is your central hub for everything Transformers.
Oh, hey, look, it's a fire truck. Are you sure?
I am Optimus Prime.
Oh, Misa's safe. Are you sure? You are fucked.
You suck.
Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another toy review, and today we're going to take a look at another Transformers Siege figure. It's the Leader Class Optimus Prime. Now, I found this at my local Walmart on the south side of Indianapolis here in Greenwood, and I was really kind of surprised to see him there. Didn't expect it, and they only had one, so I had to pick him up. Now, he is looking like an homage to the Unicron trilogy Optimus. We kind of get an Armada Optimus out of this, and then the other Optimus. I don't know that much about those versions of the Optimus Primes. I remember the Armada Prime, but not much after that. So it'll be interesting to take a look at these guys. So here we have the Leader Class Optimus Prime in the packaging, and you know, this is a pretty decent sized figure. It's, well, probably going to be about the same size as Ultra Magnus, because I think they're kind of built off the same mold, which is fine. I do like the design of it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's the same kind of packaging we've been getting in the entire Siege line, so yeah, that's pretty much all the same stuff, just kind of a close-up. Here's the top of the box. Front of the package, it has Optimus right there, and it says Siege, and then we get this really nice artwork of Optimus right here on the side. The side of the package here has the same artwork we've been getting. Would make a great poster if it's out there. Back of the package, we got Optimus in his full-out battle mode, which looks really, really cool. Then we get this kind of Armada-style Optimus with the guns on the arms. I remember that. I've had that figure, actually. We get him into the cab mode, and then the trailer mode. That I think he was a fire truck, I want to say, in this version. I'll have to go back on the interwebs and look. And then, of course, you can also get the Leader Class Shockwave, which I've already reviewed on this channel. But overall, I mean, it's looking pretty cool. I'm definitely digging it. Just kind of a close-up. There are the two robot modes, there are the two vehicle modes, and there is Shockwave. So yeah, definitely pretty cool. Can't wait to get this guy out of the box. So let's go ahead and do that and see what we think. So here we have the Leader Class Optimus Prime out of the packaging, and this thing's pretty darn cool. Now, he's got a lot of guns, he's got wings, a lot of parts, and he's an homage to the, you know, Cybertron Optimus Prime, which is pretty cool, especially if you grew up, you know, watching those era of Transformers. Now, I was an adult by the time those came out. I watched Armada, and I didn't really finish anything else in that Unicron series. But I do appreciate the look of this figure because it is pretty badass. Now, if you hear some fireworks going off in the background, it is the 4th of July weekend, and people are just shooting stuff off everywhere out here in the suburbs. Yeah, this thing definitely looks very cool. Love the wings. It's basically an Ultra Magnus redo, but it looks really cool. I love the guns, how they come up underneath, and he hangs on to them. Those are nice. You've got the pistols kind of hanging on the boots here. You can, if you want to, take these off. Here, I was messing with this earlier, and you can actually clip them onto the back of the wings. I kind of like doing this, and it gives it a little bit of a wing extension. Some little wing tips that look pretty darn cool. So yeah, there we go. You could do that if you like. But for the most part, I think it looks best if you just go ahead and clip them on down to the boots. That's how I'm going to pose it up on my shelf. Now, everything is actually pretty well done on this figure as far as joints go, so that's definitely very cool. You can also take these Gigantor cannons here, and you can kind of flip them down and around and bring them upward. So if he's, I guess, in flight mode, come on, buddy. There we go. You can do this if you so like, and let me back the camera up a little bit so that you can see it. So yeah, you can definitely do that if you so desire, and have the cannons up that high, and then you can take this piece off here and give it to Optimus and put it into his little fist, and yeah, there it is. Pretty darn cool. I am digging it. Lots of playability with this guy, lots of posing options, which is very, very cool. Now, as far as articulation goes on the figure, just kind of a close-up here, the head does move back and forth. It moves down very little. It does move up quite a bit, which is very cool if you want to get into a flight mode. The arms do move up and down. They move outward like this. There is a mushroom peg that twists. There is a single-jointed elbow. The fists do twist. He does have a twist at the waist. His legs kick up that far. They kick back about that far. He's got a single joint in his knee. The legs do splay out quite a bit. And his feet's got that crazy ankle rocker pivot we love! With this being his widest possible stance with both feet still flat on the floor. So taking a closer look at the figure itself, I love the head sculpt on this guy. I like the paint, the yellow, the blue, the wings look great, the silver on the wingtips, all the white trim on the shoulders and the chest, the paint apps around the windows look nice, the translucent blue. I mean, this is a downright gorgeous figure. The paint on the wheels back there on the shoulders look really nice. The fact he's got the Armada style guns. I mean, this figure looks good. It's very nice. Now, the back of the figure here, we get some, backpack junkage, of course. I guess, it could be his rocket booster. There's very little going on as far as the paint on the wings, which is fine. I would like the little silver detail in there, especially around those wheels. I think that would have looked nice and kind of brought out some of the sculpt that's there. But overall, this thing is gorgeous. It's big, it's beefy. There are a lot of really cool parts to it, but some of them feel kind of flimsy, so be aware of that. They could easily break, especially with a younger child. So looking at the midsection of the figure, I love the giant cannons that swing under that he grabs, and just, the silver paint looks nice, the black paint looks good. Again, he's got these side arm cannons on the forearms. Definitely cool. The fact that it straps up under there, he can hold them like miniguns, very nice. His blaster gets put onto the end point to kind of give it a little bit of a tip there, which is cool. He's got a different style waist piece, which is cool. Definitely dig that, but yeah, that silver paint and the black paint shines really nice. It really shows off the figure. The back, again, it's kind of a cobbled mess, but it's kind of built that way so it can go into the trailer mode, which, I can dig that. It works. It's the back of the figure. There's a lot going on here, which is very, very cool. But yeah, overall, looks good. Those guns are massive, all the paint apps around the chest and waist area, definitely cool. Now, looking at the legs of the figure, he's got these very large heels on the back, which is nice. It gives him a little extra, standage, I guess, to better stabilize him, because there is a lot going on up there, but, I mean, it works without them. He's got these guns kind of on the thighs there, which look nice. I like the silver paint everywhere. The guns, though, don't have the same paint apps that Ultra Magnus did, which I wish it would have had a little bit more. He's got the silver paint apps on the front armor pieces and the battle damage. And really, the leg pieces are just the same leg pieces that we got with Ultra Magnus, except they don't fold out to make the trailer. In this figure, most of the trailer is built through the wings, although the legs do have the rear component of it, which, it works. For comparison, Here we have the Leader Class Siege Optimus Prime with the Leader Class Ultra Magnus, and these two look fantastic together. They are primarily the same mold, but there's so much that have been added to this figure. It looks completely different, and it looks so much bigger, especially with these wings here and the mega guns going on. I definitely like it. Both of them are fantastic figures. I think they're both worth every penny that I paid for them. I do like them. But yeah, overall, very nice, very cool, very posable, well painted, well thought out, and it's a nice use of the mold for both figures. So that being said, since they're both Ultra Magnus figures, I'm really curious if I can swap out the robots, the cabs, and put them in the different armor pieces and see what it looks like. And here we have Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus switched with their armor pieces, and yeah, it looks a little silly. I mean, it works for the most part. I will say that these top pieces don't fit quite right when they flip over because the cabs are completely different molded and they just don't have their secure locks, but it does stay on there. Magnus looks a little funny with the blue gloves on the blue forearms. Other than that, it really doesn't look that much different than the regular version, I guess, with the actual Ultra Magnus Ultra Magnus armor, which is fine. I think this looks a little bit cooler than this version does. I like all the white on here. I think that looks pretty darn neat. The fact that it kind of brightens it up a bit gives it kind of, I don't know, Elite Guard kind of look going on there. So that's kind of fun. Just kind of, I guess, a close-up if you want to take a look at that. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that. The legs stick out a little bit in those armor pieces because they're white. And then here's a close-up of this one. If you want to take a look, again, not that much difference. The biggest difference is the blue gloves and a lot more red on the body. So yeah, it is doable. Doesn't fit exactly right, but again, kind of lends to that playability and swappable features of the parts. So here we have Optimus Prime in his vehicle mode with his trailer, and it looks okay. Mine doesn't quite clamp in to make him 100% flat. He kind of rolls up a little bit, but it's just, I think, bad QC on my figure. Overall, from the side, again, looks pretty decent. The back is basically Ultra Magnus. In fact, this entire assembly here is the Ultra Magnus set. They just did some slight remold, and then these are all different pieces. Of course, the guns, of course, are exactly the same. They look better pointed forward, I think, on this guy here. You can kind of pull them down a little bit if you want to hide some of the gappage, I suppose. I just kind of, you know, put them up forward right there. I like the detail in it. I wish there was some silver paint right here. That would have been nice. Love all the silver paint on the wheels. Looks very, very good. Could have used some taillights back here. Yeah, overall, not too terribly bad. The guns can move up and swing out. So that is cool. He can have a pretty wide attack range. What I do not like is all the gappage back here. You can see the head. That's just a little bit of a disappointment, but nah, it is what it is. Love the cab. I think that looks really good. Love that white. All in all, not too bad of a vehicle mode, but not the best. Here we have the Leader Class Optimus Prime next to Ultra Magnus in their truck modes, and I think I like Magnus's truck mode a little bit better. It's a bit more stable, and it's got a lot less gappage going on, I think, than Optimus Prime does here, but they're interesting to see side by side, and you can definitely tell that they are cut from the same mold, which is not too surprising. I mean, it is Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime. But as far as vehicle modes, I think this guy is definitely stronger. And, you know, by looking at the molds, I'm going to say they're probably interchangeable. So let's go ahead and see if we can swap these guys out. And see how they look with each other's trailers. So here we have Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus switched with the trailers, and this actually looks pretty cool. So they do indeed can be switched back and forth. I've got this guy a little wonky here. interesting. Definitely interesting. I like them in their original trailers, I think, better. Although, I will say that Optimus Prime with Magnus trailer looks really, really cool. The Magnus with Prime trailer, again, not so bad. Kind of cool. Kind of different, for sure. The two different vehicles. This one definitely looks a lot cooler, I think. But, yeah, I kind of figured you could switch them out because, well, essentially they're basically the same mold. They just did some modifications to them, of course. And, yeah, so that's definitely very fun and, you know, something that increases the playability. So here we have the Voyager class Optimus Prime in his robot mode, and he's definitely an homage to the Armada Optimus. That being his little gun pipes here on the side, which is pretty cool. I definitely like it. It is absolutely 100% a retool of Ultra Magnus. It's very apparent when you get him in this mode. I mean, it's got the same back piece. It's got the same arms and same legs. It's got the same waist piece here. The only thing that is actually different is the body itself right here. And if you flip this piece around and look at the main leader class figure, the belt, I guess, or waist piece is different. Head exactly the same, it's just this main chest piece that is different. Now, as far as articulation goes, again, it's just like Ultra Magnus. His head's on a ball joint, so it goes up and down, moves all around. He's got a twist at the waist, which is nice. The arms move up like this. There's a shoulder. Or a mushroom peg right here. Oh, he comes out right there. The arm does lift up and down. There is a single jointed elbow. The hands do twist. The legs kick that far forward. They kick all the way back like that. There's a joint at the knee. There's a little bit of twist at the knee, but not much, or the upper thigh, but not much. His legs do splay out that far, and then his feet, well, they got that crazy ankle rocker pivot we love! With this being his widest possible stance with both feet still flat on the floor. So taking a closer look at the figure itself, I love the head sculpt on this guy. It's a very classic G1 style Optimus Prime face sculpt with the original colors. I like the white on the chest here. I think that looks good. He's got some nice paint detail with the headlights. I wish he had the headlights up on the top. That would have been cool. The smokestacks, I wish they would have painted those gray. I just don't like them being red. It's the same problem that I have with the Ultra Magnus figure. The stacks are just kind of white, but it looks better on Magnus because they're white pipes. We've got the same type of backpack on the back of Optimus here that we've got with Magnus, minus the wheels, well, because they become his guns in this mode, which is pretty creative, I think. But, I don't know, there's something about all that white there that looks good. He's just missing the Autobot logos on his shoulders. So taking a look at the midsection of the figure, I love the fact you can put the guns on the side of the arms to get that Armada-style Optimus. I think that is really cool. It brings a little nostalgia to the people from that era of Transformers. The waist looks okay. We got the yellow paint on there. The gray legs, that all looks fine. Not too terribly much, you know, battle damage paint on there, but there's a little on the forearms. He's got his blue fists, which is fine. The back of the figure has, again, a lot of gray kibble going on there, but, you know, yeah, it works. It's on the back of the bot, and it doesn't really hamper it much at all there. Those guns, again, I really dig that. It does have that Armada flavor, and yeah, definitely very cool, and a nice homage to another brand of Transformers. And finally, taking a look at the legs of the figure here, I really do like the paint on the hubcaps of the wheels. I think that looks really nice. He's got the blue feet. You know, it is what it is. We got a little bit of silver up on the knees, which is nice. The gray clips kind of stick out, but it goes with the rest of the color pattern, I guess, with this figure, so it's not that bad. And we got the silver pins on the bottom of his feet, which, yeah, it kind of goes with the silver that's on the actual legs. But I like the fact that his legs are nice and solid, and there's no gappage issues going on with this figure. And with the heels that fold out, it makes it very nice and very stable. And I love the fact that we have ankle rocker pivot in these robots. For comparison, Here we have the Voyager class Armada Prime next to Ultra Magnus in his Voyager mode. And as I said before, they're basically the same figure minus the chest having a different, mold. The backs are even very, very similar. The big difference with this piece here is these wheels come off and they bolt onto the back here to make the truck mode cab. But other than that, all the mechanics are really the same, which is fine. Between the two, honestly, I like this Ultra Magnus. I like this kind of metallic teal color here, light blue. And then I love the translucent blue on his chest. I don't know, there's something about that I like. And I wish that with this Optimus, they would have put the Autobot badge on his arm up there. I would like to have seen it on both arms. And then some yellow paint apps up here on the top like we have on Magnus. But alas, we did not get that. Now, the one cool thing is you can take these gun bits off of Optimus here, and we're just going to throw him back over to the side, and you can actually place them onto Magnus. They have the same exact arms, so yeah, now you can load up Ultra Magnus with the gun cannons, which is pretty cool. They actually work very well on him, being blue. So, and it's the same color blue as the back piece right there. So that's kind of fun that you can do that. And again, it increases the playability of the figures. And here we have Optimus Prime in his cab mode, and it's basically the same thing that we get in Ultra Magnus in his cab mode. I'm not too big of a fan of it with the stacks in the middle here. The fact that he has red stacks, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And you can see the hands just kind of hanging out in the back here. Yeah, it's okay. It's not the best. Now, just to bring Ultra Magnus in to compare the two, let me bring the camera back just a hair. A little bit more. There we go. Yeah, definitely interesting to see them side by side. In this mode, you can really see the similarities in the mold. The biggest difference is the fact that Magnus's front piece clamps onto this guy, does not come off, and of course Optimus's does detach to become the guns to the Armada style Optimus in the Voyager size figure. But yeah, definitely the same mold, just slight tweaks in the sculpting. So is the Transformers Siege Leader Class Optimus Prime a figure that you want in your Transformers collection? I'm going to say yes. If you liked the Unicron series Optimus Prime, specifically the Cybertron, this is something you're definitely going to like. If you like the old Galaxy Convoy, you're probably going to like this. It has the same kind of features to it. The sculpt work is great. I like the paint apps for the most part. The trailer and the vehicle mode's a little bit weak for me, but it works. You really want this for this robot anyway. I will say it's a pretty pricey figure. It's $50. It's worth the $50. I think they did a pretty good job with it. However, I would not give this to a young child, as there are a lot of really thin parts that could break like that. But if it's an older kid or an adult collector, this is definitely something I think worth to pick up. The fact that even took it to another step, and in the Voyager cab mode, you get kind of the homage to the Armada Optimus Prime. I think that was a nice little additive with this figure. So you get two of the Optimus figures from that Unicron trilogy, which is pretty cool. So yeah. Overall, I'd have to say, if you see him, pick him up, because I've only seen the one. So there he is, Leader Class Optimus Prime from Transformers Siege.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, like us on Facebook, and look for more videos in the future.